one of them is being an early bird. It's nothing for me to get up at 3:30 in the morning to go take a walk. 45 minutes, hour, whatever that looks like. Cold showers. Most people are like, there is no way I can take a cold shower. But not only did I deal with hearing issues growing up, I dealt with being sick all often. And I would just like, there's got to be a better way. I can't just spend my life always getting everything that's being passed around. And so I started the journey of doing cold showers. And there are a lot of people that were like, that's just crazy. But what I found in that journey is I started to be healthier. So challenging myself to do that actually made it so I stayed healthier. So then when they're home sick, I might feel a little uncomfortable, but then I go about my day. I'm not out for 2 weeks because I don't feel good. And to bounce back, I'm like, I'll take a cold shower every day if it means I don't have to be sick for 2 weeks every few months, right? Just the health benefits from that was huge. And I've actually gotten inspired to do things by doing that. I worked my way up. Of course, I started with, cold hands, starting with the rinse, increasing the time. I worked my way up to 10 minutes. And at 10 minutes, I was like, is my water even cold anymore? My body is just like, oh, we're good. We're standing in cold water. Whoop-de-doo. No big deal. In that moment, I started to feel the inspiration to write a hymn. I'm like, okay. So I literally stood there for another 10 minutes. And this was just running through my mind. The inspiration to write this hymn was running through my mind. I end up in the cold shower for 20 minutes. And this was just rampant in my brain. So I literally step out of the shower, grab my phone, start hymning the tune, putting the lyrics together in my phone. And I was just amazed at what could come out of a cold shower, right? And most people think that's just crazy. I don't want to do it. They're resistant upon it. But sometimes those things that you're resistant upon, when you embrace it, can shift your whole dynamic, your whole thought process in life. A little bit more on that song. I let it collect electronic dust. I'm like, who am I? I'm not a writer. I write, but not a hymn or a song. And then I had the inspiration before bed one time. It's like, put it out on Facebook. So find a composer to help me write this. Like, okay. So I did. Best experience ever. We had that rocked out in like an hour and a half of getting together. We tidied it all together, put it all together, and it was amazing. And, brought many people to tears with it because it was a journey of some of the things I'd been going through in that prayer. It ended up being a prayer hymn, basically. But it came out of by removing that resistance and doing something that was uncomfortable. So it's just amazing. Other things I've done the 75 hard challenge. And at the time I was dealing with a medical illness called pericarditis. So I only could walk. That's it. And if you've ever watched it or heard of the 75 hard challenge, you have to exercise twice a day and one has to be outside. And you can research and find all the dynamics with that challenge. I ended up walking over 430 some miles in 75 days. Now, if you would have told me at the beginning I was going to walk that many miles, I've been like, yeah, right. I can't hardly do any exercise, let alone walk that many miles. And when I totaled it all up at the end of the challenge and I successfully completed it in the first try, and I was like, wow, just how important is that consistency every day? Every day I had to do these certain parts of that challenge. And it showed me, one, that I could do it. No matter what, there's something you can do. It taught me how valuable that consistency is. There was one day I wanted to go do something in the afternoon. I woke myself up at midnight. I walked for my 45 minutes. I went back to bed for 3 hours because you had to have a minimum of 3 hours between each exercise. And then I walked again at 3 o'clock in the morning just so I could go do that. But it trained me to say, okay, so if I need to do this, today, this is my priority. It has to get done. You can set that. Do it. Figure out however you have to put it in your schedule, because anybody can go off of a few hours of sleep one night, as long as you're not doing it day after day after day, and still change and be consistent and keep that confidence in yourself by committing and doing it. And it just drew me. I was just like, wow. And some of the changes, the inspirational changes I had by being consistent, even on those walks, the things I would come up with and thoughts that I would have were just transformative. One of the examples is there's always good, there's always bad. Depends on what you're looking to see, right? And one of them was, okay, I would get frustrated because people would they'd stop at the stoplight in the crosswalk. And I could see that and I could get frustrated, right? Or I could be grateful for the times that the people parked before the crosswalk so I could actually walk where I was supposed to. Both are available. What are you going to look for? What are you going to feed your mind? So I'm very careful on, I guard what I enter into my mind. If I want to see positive, then think of the positives. Write a gratitude list every day. How can you feed that?